Hey guys, I just decided to make this video because I would like to give you a very powerful exercise to improve your self-esteem. It's something that takes a little bit of time, but the result is very powerful. So first, let me start with self-esteem, what it is and why it's so important what is the key pretty much to be able to connect with women. There is many definitions of self-esteem, and most of them are not really scientific. They are not really rigorous. They can be anything. They basically mislead self-esteem with self-respect, self-love, self-appreciation, self-confidence. That's really not correct. The right, I would say, psychological definition of it is based on two measurable and clear concepts, which is extroversion, which is your ability to experience to express positive emotions. This is something that can be seen early in the childhood. It's a character trait. Basically means something that you are someone on a distribution when it comes to this extroversion. The opposite is not necessarily introversion. I would say it's like probably like a less of extroversion. You're someone on this graph, and the more you want to move away from where you're naturally, the more difficult it gets. This is why it's something that makes sense psychologically. It's not something that you can change here and there. It's something that requires effort if you want to change it, because you're born with a certain ease and ability to deal with extroversion. Extroversion being how you express positive emotions. Extroverted people are those that like to communicate, to talk, to interact, to be loud, to be seen, and so on and so forth. The second definition that you need to know is what is neuroticism. Neuroticism is kind of not really the opposite, but it's the susceptibility to feel negative emotions. You know that there are certain people that will always feel negative about something in the first place. And some people will experience negative emotions really strongly compared to others. There are those people that are more like rocks, they're sad, but that's it. And some others are more prone to depression, and this is also something that is part of the character trait. It's you have a sensibility to negative emotions. Well, basically self-esteem is nothing else but the extroversion, how you express positive emotions, minus neuroticism, how you feel, how easily you feel negative emotions, how sensitive you are to negative emotions. And this net difference creates pretty much how you're able to express yourself with others without feeling negative consequences. Negative consequences being you don't feel negative emotions. And this is this is self-esteem. When self-esteem is used as an excuse for anything that happens. If a girl does something inappropriate, everybody is going to say, oh, this is because she has a bad self-esteem, she doesn't dress the way she should, and so on and so forth. Or a guy, when he gets in front of someone, says something, and then he's completely he gets inside himself and he protects himself. It's, oh, she doesn't have confidence, oh, he must have a very bad self-esteem. So it's used pretty stupidly, but now you have a clear definition. It's extroversion minus neuroticism, and you can work on both. You can reduce your neuroticism, learn how to deal better with your negative emotions, and you can learn how to express more positively your positive emotions. And this is why it's actually easy to build a high self-esteem by working on those two things at the same time. Now that you know the difference, why is it so important? Simply because this is how you interact with people. How you interact with people is how positively I am pushed to start something, to be a leader, to put myself forward, to express who I am, and then I will gauge the reaction. And if every reaction is taken as a personal attack, being I'm a neurotic, this is something that will make me feel bad, and then I will not build on that. I will probably move away, or I would do something that doesn't necessarily match the relationship. So this is why self-esteem is a key concept. Now you understand what are the 2 points we need to work on: extroversion and neuroticism. And today I'm going to give you a very good exercise to improve your ability to deal with negative emotions by understanding mostly where they come from. So this exercise is called the memory journal. I started to do that pretty much, I discovered it by accident when I was 15 years old. I decided to write my autobiography. So I pretty much started from the first thought that I could recall and remember, which was something when I was 3 years old or something like that. And then I started to write everything that I could remember from there, how I view my parents, how I view myself, what are the thoughts and emotions that I experience in certain situations. And like this really will make you understand. It will take a long time, can take up to 2-3 months. I remember I wrote like 16 pages, both sided, in like 2 days, and it was crazy. This completely changed my view on the world and how I perceived that I experienced things based on what I had before. I was able to see patterns. I was able to know exactly where I standed on that extroversion to neuroticism scale, even without having to take, like a personality test. This was based on my true experience. For example, I understood that I was actually pretty extroverted, even though I always thought that I was someone that liked to, just be by himself and so on. Naturally, I'm an extrovert. And let me tell you an example of that. For example, I remember that I always knew that I had a difficulty when I was going outside of my secure space that I would consider being my home. Whenever I would go out, I would feel like something is not right. I don't feel as good, and I just want to go back home, right? I need to have some emotional support there. And I remember when I was writing about me when I was 4, I remember my first day at school. This is something very important, right? How others interact with you and so on. And I remember that, I was raised in a Czech family, so I was speaking Czech since I was a kid. And in that culture, usually kids are called with demeanors. So instead of me being called David, everybody was calling me Davidek, which is like small David, right? And so my first day at school, I went there. I was very happy to go there. I was in my extrovert mode, and I was super happy. Obviously it was scary, but I was happy to go there. And the teacher, when I entered the classroom, asked me, "Okay, so what's your name?" And I told her, "I'm Davidek." And she laughed at me. She didn't laugh at me. That's how I experienced it. She laughed because obviously it was cute. And she said, "No, you're David." And I remember that day, I didn't realize it, but that day I basically decided I started to shut down my extroversion and my expression of myself, because suddenly I came from being that little cute thing that is protected by everybody, who is the smallest, who is the cutest at home, to now you're David. You have a new identity. You're David. You're like, this is serious, and it has to be serious. And that's where I started to, less be like a kid. I started to act more seriously, and therefore being more serious also creates more anxiety and nervousness, and that's probably what also caused some issues around others when I was a kid. So you are going to find out things like that, and it's not always easy to process them, to create connections and links, but it is something that is going to reveal you more where you are naturally on that scale, and basically what is you are going to figure out what is your natural self-esteem, and then there will be opportunities to work on that based on what is in there. This is an exercise that I do with all my clients, and it yields amazing results, because you can also figure out where your limiting beliefs come from, what you need to work on, and then work specifically on each and every single thing so that your past doesn't hold you back in your future. So this is the exercise that I'm giving you today. If you need help with processing everything and assessing what is in there, don't hesitate to book a consultation call with me. We can go over that and see if and how I can help you. If you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe to this channel. And I see you tomorrow. Bye.